informal manufacturing sector. And therefore, to make policy choices when we are in the kind of situation we are, when we have 10 million people without jobs, when we have a debt crisis, and when we have a huge sector that is not working, then we have to carefully craft policy choices so that we can move our country to the next level. I will give you an example. We just inaugurated a gun assembly factory up in Ruiru, which we built at a cost of 4 billion shillings. That factory created 100 jobs. It means it costed 40 million, to create one job. Kitui County, I want to give you the other side of the story. Kitui County created a garment manufacturing industry. Kitui County spent 168 million and created 600 jobs. So, if you do the math, it means it costed Kitui County 280,000 to create one job. That tells you that if we had invested in garment factory like Kitui County, our 4 billion would have created 14,000 jobs. So the policy choices we need to make is not necessarily how much money we have, it is the policy choices we make. Where do we invest? And that is the difference between the trickle-down economic model and the bottom-up economic model. It's as simple as that. Let me also tell you the following. Because we have a huge 16 million workforce in the micro, small, and medium enterprise sector, let me dissect for you that about 5 million of these micro and small and medium enterprise players have some form of formality, graduated. 10 million of them are actually in what we call a lottery. Let me clarify it further. Of the 19 million Kenyans, every year we inject another 800,000. Of these 800,000, 50,000 are absorbed by the corporate sector. Another 150, 120,000 are absorbed by the formal SME sector. The remainder, about 600, 700, enter a space that we can actually call a lottery. They are not sure of what to do. They don't know how much they will make. On a good day, they make 100 shillings, sometimes 200 shillings a day. On a very good day, they make 300 shillings. And on a completely bad day, the council askaris go away with all their wares and they make zero. That is the kind of situation we are in And that is where millions of Kenyans are. In our plan, as we listened to the people of Kenya around the world, we came to the conclusion that an inclusive, employment-creating economic model is about investing the limited capital available where it creates the most employment, and that is at the bottom of the pyramid. And that is why we came to the conclusion that the bottom-up economic model was the most optimal for all our productive sectors. Our plan, therefore, has prioritized the following 7 sectors: agriculture, MSMEs, housing and settlement, manufacturing, the digital superhighway and creative economy, the service economy, environment, and climate change. These are the critical sectors that we want to drive our development. I will talk about the enablers further down the road. And we have chosen these 6 sectors on the following criteria: their ability to bring down the cost of living, our intention to eradicate hunger, and the big question of creating employment, and the resultant expanding of our tax revenue base, as well as improving our foreign exchange balance, and the whole subject of inclusive growth. Those are the 6 parameters that we used to arrive at why agriculture, why housing, why infrastructure. These are the criteria we used. Let me explain to you why. For example, we believe as Kenya Kwanza that investing in agriculture will give us not just employment, it will also give us foreign exchange, it will give us, it will eradicate hunger, it will expand our incomes, it will also expand our industrialization agenda. Investing in agriculture is because also agriculture is the most competitive sector in Kenya. We have the best practices of agriculture anywhere in the world. If you go, for example, to the flower auction in Amsterdam, 25% of flowers come from Kenya, and they are competitively grown. Agriculture is equally important because it controls 50% of our economy, 25% directly and 25% indirectly. Why do we believe that agriculture is the best place to invest? Number one, increasing agricultural productivity is the secret, because agricultural productivity has not grown at the same in tandem with growth in our population. And therefore, it is very important that we target agricultural productivity. It will give us a quick turnaround of our investment, because what we need to do is to capitalize the agricultural sector. And how do we capitalize the agricultural sector? And why is it a quick turnaround? Number one, capitalizing the agricultural sector, you don't have to buy the cows. The cows are already there. All you need is animal feed. You don't have to buy the farm. The farm is already there. You don't have to hire the farmers. The farmers are already there. So there is already a stock of infrastructure and resources that you can begin with. Therefore, we need to capitalize that sector so that we can provide animal feed, we can provide good quality seed, we can provide good quality, affordable fertilizer, and we can provide agrochemicals. That will turn around the agricultural sector in a very short time. Let me give you an example, because it is important for us to understand where we are. We have 2.2 million dairy cows lactating at any one time in Kenya. On average, the national average is that we get 2.5 liters per cow. It's possible to stretch these cows to 10, 15, 20, we have 40, we have 50. Let's not go there. Let's just assume we double from 2.5 to 5 liters. And that doesn't take any miracle. It just takes provision of animal feed. Our technical teams have already calculated how much that will cost. It will cost 4,000 shillings per cow. If we went there, we would actually double our milk production from 5 billion liters to 10 billion liters within a year, just by providing animal feed. We would double, and the farmers who are here know. We have listened to farmers in Kitale, we've listened to farmers in Embu, we've listened to farmers across the country. They are speaking the same language, animal feed. And if we doubled our milk production, we could possibly have an extra 200 billion shillings if we sold it to our neighbors. I want to say, I am not talking about buying new cows. I'm not talking about getting new farmers. Same farmers, same cows, same infrastructure. They are doing it already. All we need to do is to capitalize them. Many of them don't have the money to buy animal feed. That's all. That's all. We have costed what that will cost us, and it will cost us 8.8 billion shillings. And if we deploy 8.8 billion shillings, within the year, they will return the 8.8 billion shillings and make for themselves another 10 billion shillings. We will get more people working. We will get our milk coolers working. We will get our processors working. We will get our exporters working. And the secret with agriculture is that it has the highest multiplier on matters employment. Investing in agriculture also will help us deal with the animal of cost of living. There is a paradox. Farmers, on one hand, looking for higher incomes for themselves, and consumers, on the other hand, looking for cheaper products. That's a contradiction. How do you sort out that paradox? Agriculture has the potential to sort it out for us. Investing in agriculture, a farmer who produces 10 bags today per acre because they are struggling. The same farmer can produce 20, 25 bags if we supported them with a capital to plow in time, get the correct certified seed, get subsidized fertilizer, and ensure that the post-harvest challenges are managed the same farmer in the same farm, just by capitalizing their operations, they can double their production. And when they double their production, it means they can sell at a lower price to the consumer. Therefore, the challenge of cost of living is not too scientific. The challenge of cost of living is increasing agricultural productivity, period. This whole story about Ukraine and all this is a lost cause. And I want to say the following, that if we had not withdrawn the fertilizer subsidy that was there in our Big Four plan, we wouldn't be in the crisis we are in today. It is as simple as that. If we had stuck to the plan on food security, ensuring that we support our farmers, we capitalize the agricultural sector, ladies and gentlemen, we wouldn't be where we are. It is as simple as that. I have told you already that we are spending 300 billion shillings every year to import food that we can grow locally. Let me give you an example. Edible oil alone, this year, we spent 90 billion this year to import edible oil, which we can get from soya, canola, simsim, palm oil. All these are not foreign crops. These are crops we can grow in Kenya. We can save enormous amounts of money, of hard-earned foreign exchange, if we changed our model and put in place mechanisms, which we are suggesting here. We spoke with farmers in Busia. We spoke with farmers in Kakamega. They told us they are ready to grow the oil crops. All they wanted is a sure market that if they grow, somebody will buy them. That's all they asked. That's all they asked. And for sure, if we are importing 90 billion, we can start there. We can substitute. We can tell them, instead of us importing, please grow. We have at least 90 billion we can buy. We can begin there. The same goes with rice. This year, we have imported 25 billion worth of rice. We can surely double our rice production in Kenya. It's possible. From where to Ahero and to all the other places, we can surely double our rice production, and we can reduce, we can actually grow. We are at the moment, I think, doing 18% production locally. We can do 50%. And if we did 50%, we would save 15 billion shillings of foreign exchange that we are using. And that 15 billion would go to our farmers and be in our economy. Agriculture, equally, will help us sort out the challenge of unemployment, investing in agriculture, because agriculture has the highest multiplier effect on the employment creation, especially because investing in agriculture means the agrochemical factories are working, the fertilizer factories are working, the value addition further the road manufacturing is working, the agro-based industries are working, and therefore it has the highest multiplier effect in terms of creating jobs. So investing in agriculture is investing in jobs. And remember, we are trying to sort out three things. We are trying to sort out unemployment, we're trying to create jobs at any one time, we're trying to expand our tax revenue, our tax base, and we are trying to grow our export earnings, or at least save our foreign exchange. Let me also say, agriculture will also make many Kenyans, if we invest in agriculture, save on their incomes. Today, on average, every Kenyan spends 54% of their income on food. 54%. In fact, the poorer families are spending 60% of their income on food alone. And our statistics show that we spend 3 trillion shillings on food as a nation. Just imagine for a moment, if we saved just 10% on food because we have improved our productivity. From 3 trillion, 10%, we would save 300 billion that would go somewhere else in our economy. So investing in agriculture has a bearing on what remains in your pocket. It's what remains in your pocket. Let me also say the following. Hunger is a big problem in Kenya. We have close to 2 million people who suffer hunger. Majority of them, for your information, are farmers. Majority of these 2 million people who are suffering hunger. It means they can't grow enough to eat. As Kenya Kwanza, we have worked out with our agroeconomists a package for these 2 million farmers. For us to give them inputs and make sure that they use the farm they are doing now and produce enough for them to eat and a surplus. We have a program for 5 years to invest 90 billion shillings. 30 billion shillings revolving fund and 12 billion shillings every year to support them on extension service and making sure they do the right thing. In 5 years, these 2 million farmers, once supported the way I have suggested, they will not only produce enough food for them to eat and get out of hunger, but they will generate a surplus. In total, they will create 500 billion shillings worth of product. From 90 billion. From 90 billion, they will create 500 billion. This is the 2 million our competitors want to put on handouts. Their handout program in 5 years will cost 720 billion with zero return. Our plan will cost 90 billion with 500 billion shillings return. That is the difference. Agriculture equally will stimulate our industrialization. All of you know that 50% of our entire manufacturing sector is agro-based. 40% is food and beverage, and another 10% other non-food agricultural manufacturing. So, increasing the productivity of our agricultural sector naturally influences our manufacturing and industrialization program. So, what are we going to do as Kenya Kwanza? We are going to provide adequate, affordable working capital to all our farmers, either through their farmer organization groups or cooperatives or other farmer organizations, so that we can capitalize our agricultural sector, because the single most important impediment to the productivity of our agricultural sector is capital. Number two, farmers told us across the country that they needed to guarantee their returns. Every farmer want to know that when they produce, there is a market, and that they will not get stuck with their products. So that is where we want to go, to provide GMR, a guaranteed minimum return mechanism that is built around insurance, so that every farmer will know that when they produce, there will be a market and they will not lose. We will transform, of course, our 2 million resource-poor farmers to produce food surplus. We will reduce our dependency on basic food imports, especially edible oil and rice. Those are our two targets. And we will invest in the underperforming products, coffee, coffee, cashew nut, and of course invest in the emerging crops, macadamia, avocado, and the area of flowers, and the area of flowers and vegetables. And we will also move up the value chain. Our tea, we only value add 5% of our tea. Our strategy is to move value addition of our tea to 50% in the next 3 years. The second sector, that's agriculture. The second sector we want to focus on is transforming our MSMEs. I have given you the statistics. The statistics is that we have close to 15 million people in that space. 10 million of them hardly make 100, 200, 300 shillings. Our intervention is threefold. Number one, we want to create business infrastructure for these people. There must be markets, there must be spaces, there must be areas where business can be done legitimately